a shootout over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yes, your Chicago Blackhawks win it 3-2 over the Pittsburgh Penguins while winning it by the shootout. This game was a game of all emotions. The Hawks were good for the first two periods, but that third period was a backbreaker for the Hawks. Yeah, it was a complete backbreaker, and you could see it if you were at the live stream tonight where I did my live play-by-play of the Blackhawks Penguins game. And it was a rough third period, but the Hawks managed to grind it out and still win. Marc-Andre Fleury in net for your Chicago Blackhawks, beating his original team, the Pittsburgh Penguins, tonight. Must have felt really good after his last time playing them a couple weeks ago. Fleury had himself one hell of a performance tonight for your Chicago Blackhawks. He was great. He made big saves when needed, and the Hawks win it. And this was a game the Hawks needed. Now we have a 2-game win streak. We haven't had that yet this year. And we won 2 games in a row. That feels great, right? God, this team had a rough start. Holy crap. But the Hawks win it. And it feels good to do it. Now, having 2 games in a row with victories under interim head coach Derek King must have felt really good to see because they played well. Third period, not so much. Overtime, there were some chances. There were. And we couldn't beat Jarry in that OT. So, let's get into the stats of the game. As I said, the third period was the backbreaker to the Hawks. Total shots on net for each team were 44-32 in favor for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 44 shots for the Penguins. Yeah, that's not really good. Last game the Hawks only allowed 21 shots. This time around they allowed 44 shots, and 20 of their shots came in the third period. The Hawks were on their heels all that third period, as I've said. Face-off percentage, 47.5% to the Hawks, 52.5%. Yes, the Hawks drew the Penguins in the dot, which is good to see. Power plays, each team went 0 for. The Penguins went 0 for 3, and the Hawks went 0 for 2. Hawks had a couple of opportunities on their power plays. They just couldn't beat Jarry with it. Penguins really didn't generate any opportunities at all. Fleury made some big saves when needed, but Penguins really didn't generate anything on their power plays. Hits 36-30 in favor for Pittsburgh. Block shots. This was where, honestly, I would have to say it. Calvin Dawn had himself his best game in a Blackhawk uniform ever. This was his best performance. He had to go to the locker room twice. He took 2 big shot blocks that led to him going to the locker room with stingers, but came out and had a couple more blocks, which he played great tonight. Dahan was outstanding. Hawks looked good. And honestly, I would have to say, yeah, that is Dahan's best game. So, total shots per period. This is where you see a change. 11-14 in favor for the Hawks in the first period. 11-12 in favor for the Hawks in the second period. And in the third period, the Penguins came out angry or steaming because they put on 20 shots to 5. And in the first like 7 minutes of play. No, not even first 7 minutes. Like the first 4 minutes of play in the third period, the Penguins put up 7-1 on shots on net. Yeah, the Hawks were in it on their heels in that third period. It was a rough one. Overtime, 2-1 in favor for the Penguins. Hawks had a couple more opportunities, but they rang the post. So, let's get to the goals of the game, shall we? Because there's only 4 total goals, and then we have 2 in the shootout that happened. In the first period, it was frankly more so a back and forth hockey game. We had some big saves by Fleury and some big saves by Jarry. Hawks didn't have put up a goal. They almost came close on a power play, just couldn't beat Jarry in that power play. Penguins really couldn't generate high quality opportunities. Fleury made a big save here and there, but they really didn't generate in that first period. It was the second period where stuff happens. 2 minutes and 14 seconds into the second period. Scored by number 16, Jujhar Khaira. His first as a Chicago Blackhawk and first of the season. Assisted by number 19, Jonathan Toews. And number 8, Dominic Kubalik. This line with Toews, Kubalik, and Khaira sets up a actually really good opportunity here. Toews gets the puck from Kubalik. Toews goes around Jarry, goes up, vintage Jonathan Toews-like, goes around, sees Jujhar crashing to the slot, and Toews feeds Jujhar on the doorstep, and Khaira buries it past Tristan Jarry of the Penguins. And the Hawks now are up 1-0 over the Pittsburgh Penguins. This was a nice goal by Jujhar Khaira, and it was a great play by Jonathan Toews. Toews set it up. He goes around, vintage Jonathan Toews-like, and that's how you get something going. So, after that goal, though, by the Hawks from Jujhar Khaira, the Penguins were on their Hawks' heels. The Hawks were just flat, and the Penguins were generating a couple chances, but nothing were being beaten by the Fleury. But at 15:53 in the second period, scored by number 4, Seth Jones. His first as a Chicago Blackhawk and first of the season. Assisted by number 88, Patrick Kane. And number 12, Alex DeBrincat. To give the Hawks a 2-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins. This goal was set up perfectly. Honestly, it looked like a power play that happened by the Hawks. The Hawks kept the puck in the offensive zone. They were moving the puck well. King gets the puck, sets it up, gets it over to the Cat. Cat gets it back over to Kane. Kane goes down to Jones. Jones pinches up with Kirby Dach screaming Tristan Jarry, and he goes into the high quality area to score, and he buries it, bar down, top shelf. Hawks up 2-0. This was a great goal for Seth Jones for his first as a Chicago Blackhawk, and well, the Hawks are now up 2-0. So, after that, no goals were scored in the remainder of the second period. So we go to the third period, and the Penguins were charging. They were outplaying, outskating, catching the Hawks on their heels, and they are gifted at 5:34 off a face-off win. Jeff Carter with his first of the night, second of the season, assisted by Gensel and Friedman to make it a 1-goal game. This goal was set up perfectly by Gensel. Gensel sees Carter going in, and he sends it across onto Carter's stick to redirect it past Fleury, and the Penguins are gifted a goal. So we are now seeing the Penguins now have momentum. They had the momentum all throughout this period. Hawks had to kill a power play. Penguins were generating. Penguins get a goal. And then the Penguins continue to battle and get opportunities off. And this happened at 15:43 in the third period. Jeff Carter of the Pittsburgh Penguins ties it up with his second of the night, third of the season, assisted by Jake Gensel and Brian Rost to make it a 2-2 game. This was really set up by a odd man rush, Hawks leading the Penguins to an odd man rush, getting Gensel over, feeding it to Carter, and Carter beating Fleury when the goal went off the moorings. Fleury tried to make a save. He kicks the goal off the moorings, but the puck crosses the line before the goal was off the moorings, and it's a tied game. The Hawks look devastated after that. They look lost. But we have an overtime where it generated a 2-on-0 breakaway. We go into this overtime with a chance. Kane and the Cat. 2-on-0 breakaway. Cat over to Kane, and Kane rings the pipe. And we remain tied. The Penguins take the puck back and go up the rush. And Jeff Carter, with a minute remaining in the overtime, goes up and gets penalized. Same with the Hawks. They get a penalty. Because Carter slashes Fleury after he gets a shot to try and get the hat trick. He goes up and slashes Fleury in the glove hand, and Murphy did not like it. He went up and cross-checked Carter, and Flower was ticked too. He went in and wanted to go at him. So we have a penalty. Each team remains 3-on-3. With a second remaining, Patrick Kane had a breakaway for about the last 3 seconds of play. Kane goes on the rush. On the final second, rifles it, and it's saved by Jari. So we need a shootout. A shootout. Something I'm not a fan of, but we have to go to it. And we have the captain, number 19, Jonathan Toews, to start the Hawks off for the shootout. Toews goes in, up and beats Tristan Jarry, and the Hawks are up 1-0 in the shootout. Then the Penguins have their first shooter, and it's Jake Gensel. Gensel goes up wide, and the Flower makes a save on his former teammate, and it's 1-0 Hawks in the shootout. And we now have number 88, Patrick Kane, for the second shooter of the Blackhawks. Kane goes up, kind of goes in wide, then comes in slow, and cannot beat Tristan Jarry. Kane has not been good at the shootout lately, but we're still up by a goal. And now it's another former teammate of Marc-Andre Fleury, and it's Chris Letang going up. He goes up wide, and Fleury has an easy save as Letang just tries to throw it on, and Fleury saves it. And we now go to the third and potentially final shooter. And it's the Cat, Alex DeBrincat. Cat goes up in, and he beats Tristan Jarry for the Hawks 3-2 victory. And we win it. The Cat gets the puck on his stick and beats Jarry in the shootout. And now we have a Hawks victory, which is good to see. Fleury gets to get his revenge against his former team. He wins it. He played outstanding. Hawks win it. 3-2. Technically, Hawks and Penguins tied. Because I don't care for the shootout, but we win it 3-2 because you have to have a winner in hockey. So 3-2 victory for the Hawks. I'm not a fan of the shootout, as I've already mentioned, but we win it in a shootout, which is good to see. We get a second game in a row where we've won, which is great to see. And now we get ready to play the Arizona Coyotes Friday night. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were from tonight's action. And thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, Hawks win, and let's go Hawks!